start dropping every cuss word you know?
It's in the Bible. I can say it.
Oh, that is such a good look, Tifo. Thank you. Thank you.
My computer got the Rona, so I got to protect myself.
You're protecting all of us. It's greatly appreciated. It's
No,
public service, really.
My neighbor makes these. Look at the shirt Andrew's wearing. We're cut off. I didn't think this through.
Come on!
So you put them in with your game.
There's a female voice in Jake's apartment.
Hey, welcome to the show. We're going to get started here in just a moment. This portion of the show brought to you in part by our good friends at New Power Property Services. They do cleaning. They do sanitation. Get a hold of them. Colleen and her crew are professionals. And they will definitely take care of you the way that they take care. Well, not the way she's married to me. They won't take care of you the same way. That would be illegal. that would be highly illegal. Not that way, but in other ways. Twice But Nice, our resale shop here in Toledo, which where Josie gets all her clothes from. She goes shopping there. We give her the credit card, and she'll head up there, take her friends. DMX Lawn and Landscape. They're going to make you mow your lawn up in here, up in here. Here we go.
And now, our feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
And Friends. I really didn't think this
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Monday, May 4th, 2020. May the 4th be with you. First time you heard that. Oh, okay. Anyway, got a big show for you. Producer Holly's up there on the top, I see. One of the first ones in. Let's see. Denny Crum on the other side. Jake Dickin down at the bottom. Chris Tiefel right in the middle. Southside Gina on the other side. It is time to get this party started for a Monday. Here we go. Woo! Tiefel, are you even that hideous for yourself to look at? What are you doing now? What are you on? What's on your face?
Like I said earlier, it seems like my computer got the Rona, so I'm just protecting myself.
Yeah, we were trying to get Tiefel connected here, and it was a pain in the butt. And he's giving me the business as he loves to do, even though everyone else got in fine. He should have been giving me the business because I didn't do anything. It was all his own fault in his own computer. What's going on, everyone? Anyone do anything interesting this weekend, or was the same old crap, or did you watch anything cool?
Just The Last Dance again.
You watched
that's been incredible, and like last night was such a fun episode because they have this clip and it's gone viral. It's this like adorable old security guy playing this like game with Michael Jordan where they're trying to get the quarter as close to the wall without hitting the wall as possible. And he's the only and this guy just owned Jordan every time they played it, and he's this really like little tiny guy. He does this little shrug, and it's gone viral. I just shared it on my Facebook. This whole thing has been incredible.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Denny.
And like someone on Twitter said that Michael Jordan brings 7 million people together every single week just to calmly destroy people he hated 2 decades ago.
It's funny because I was just reading before it went on the air, and I didn't read the whole story, but it said that they rushed The Last Dance to production once the coronavirus hit because they knew people were going to be looking for content, and they rushed it unfinished. And they said that in the last episode, if they have what's his name? Kerr. What's
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr. That if he shows up via Skype in the last episode, that it's because they were never able to get to him for the actual filming of it, and they were adding stuff as the show has been airing, so they continue to add to it. But I'm gonna start watching it. I thought I read it was. I know it's on ESPN Live, but I thought I saw it was on Netflix. Is it on Netflix?
It's a Netflix production. It's not going to hit Netflix in the United States until I think July.
Oh gosh. Wow.
So
okay.
Andrew, do you have a Fire Stick?
No.
We'll have to work. I'll get you one of those, and we'll jailbreak it for you.
Okay. I have
illegal activities.
I have a guy that jailbreaks them for $15. I just don't. We used to have one. We've just got regular cable.
I just offered to do it for free, but go ahead and pay him.
Oh no, I didn't know that's your. I thought you were going to give me one.
This explains the resting bitch face.
What do you mean?
I told you it's because I'm friends with him. That's why.
We started watching yesterday was first of all we finished up Self-Made, which is the show about. It's a movie about this lady from 100 years ago, 1917, 1915, somewhere around there, Madam C.J. Walker, and she was the first American female millionaire. And it's all about her company. She's African-American and a woman 100 years ago and just killing it. If you have kids, especially girls, if you don't watch this show, you are doing them a disservice because it's really good. And I didn't even know that the Madam it's Walker hair care products. They're still around today. 100 years later, Colleen, they sell them at Sephora. I mean, can you imagine that first of all, being black, then being female, starting a business 100 years ago that is still around today and still in Sephora, one of the hottest cosmetic stores in the country. That's pretty unbelievable.
It's incredible.
What she was able to do. It really is incredible. But anyway, we finished that yesterday. And then we started watching this show called Hollywood on Netflix, which is
I've heard good things about that.
It's really good. We're in episode 2. There's 7 episodes. Go ahead, Holly.
I started watching that show today because of you.
Did you?
And quite frequently, yes. Quite frequently, I spend most of my day just looking at the phone and listening to the TV today. Well, I look up at one specific scene. Damn it, Andrew.
What?
That is a very sexually explicit show.
There's a lot of sex on there.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Well, here's the problem.
And it's all kinds. It's all
Yeah.
kinds.
I'm okay with that.
The problem is you know there's a reason it's called the casting couch. I mean, and this is basically from the early start of film when Rock Hudson just got started, and like I don't know if you guys know who he is, but I guess is the golden age of the film like the 50s? Is that kind of when movies started, or 50s, 60s? When they went from the silent films to the talkies, right in that era. This is
I don't know when was Gone with the Wind, because I feel like that was like the first like major blockbuster.
Gone with the Wind was in, I believe, 1930 something.
That's what Colleen's saying.
39.
Colleen's saying the 30s. So that's what this covers. But you know, it was the casting couch, and so they were. You wanted to get ahead. You wanted to get on to the big talkie. You want to get in the talkie of the day. You had to give up some nookie for the talkie.
That's exactly how we all got on the show. So
What's that?
Speak
You
for
want to
yourself.
get ahead. You got.
that's what Andrew told me.
What'd you say, Tifo?
So if you want to get ahead, you got to give a little.
Yes, exactly. You didn't even have to finish it. I know what you meant. But it's funny because at one point, this guy was he was working at this guy owns this gas station, right? And people would pull up, and he only hired hot people. And if you say the magic word, then the person because back then they pumped your gas. I don't know, kids. Actually, they used to pump the gas back in the day. So
it's the same in Oregon and Jersey today.
I know, it's crazy. But so if they would say the magic word, hey, what do you need? Take me to Dreamland. Then the dude that was pumping the gas would jump in the car, and then they would pull off and then go have sex with him, and then they would make money. And this one dude was like struggling, trying to get in the movies. His wife's pregnant, and he didn't want to do it. But then they're like, $100. I'll jump in the car. Let's do this.
I'm not gay, but $100 is $100.
Right, exactly. So it's really good though. You gotta
That guy's going to teach you how to blow $100 quickly.
literally. No, so it's really good. If you guys get a chance, check that out. It's called Hollywood, and it is on Netflix, which seems like has all the good shows are on Netflix. And right now it's just a content game. There's so many now competitors out there. You have to get the shows that people are hooked on to get them to pay for your $10 subscription or whatever the hell it is. Go ahead, Denny.
I watched that Casey Anthony thing that you was talking about last week too. I watched all 3 episodes in one sitting, and it was crazy. Like how'd
she get away with that?
Well, not just how she got away with it, like how she had the audacity to tell as many lies as she did. I mean, like with the craziest thing I thought about the whole thing. I mean, murder. I'm not trying to downplay the murder or anything,
right?
But one of the craziest things I thought that I was like, she has the audacity to do this when she told everyone that she still worked at Universal Studios. And the detectives know she doesn't, so they're like, take us to Universal Studios, take us to your job, show us where you work, we want to see what you do. And she goes in, she's like, yeah, that's fine. She goes in, talks to the guard like she still works. She hadn't worked there in 2 years. And she's talking to the guard like she still works there, and the guard is like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not on this list. And she's like, yeah, like here, this person is my supervisor. And they're like, they're not on the list either. We have no idea what you're talking about. No. And she looks at the detectives like, I don't know what's going on. Something's weird with this guy. Like.
Dude, she was diabolical. And for those who don't know, Casey Anthony, or is it Kaylee? I get them mixed up. Casey's the mom, right?
Casey was the mom. Kaylee was the little girl.
This happened about 9 years ago. It was the biggest story on the planet. It was on Court TV 9 years ago. She killed her daughter. Well, allegedly killed her daughter, Casey. She was actually found innocent of it. But
allegedly.
Dude, if you watch this thing, you see all the evidence that I didn't remember back then. Dude, there's no doubt she killed her kid.
And she was banging her lawyer as payment.
What is going on?
She was paying for getting away with a crime with a crime.
It had to have been a whole jury of, and that's how we got Trump today. It had to have been a whole jury of Trump people, because there were just the stuff that was going on. How do you find her innocent? I don't even understand. Go ahead, Jake.
Because they have to have reasonable doubt, man.
There was no reasonable doubt.
The thing that blew me away, and I think I watched the same one a few, like maybe 6 months, maybe a year ago, was the fact that there was the smell of a dead body in her trunk.
Her mom, literal words.
Yeah, her mom caught it and then just like did nothing about it, and then like later went on to defend her.
Yeah, they're like it was trash. It was old pizza.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, and her mom. Well, here's what happened: is when it first happened, that's what mom really thought. Mom said, "You guys got to get here. It smells like a dead body in my daughter's car." Blah blah blah. But then she goes on the stand. Was a year later, 2 years later, whatever it ends up being, and she says, What was her excuse about?
It was trash, and
it was trash. But the bottom line is,
and they said it was trash, and the heat, like it, mixed the trash and the heat in the trunk, and it just made it awful.
The mom made a decision that no matter what I say, I'm not going to bring my granddaughter back. She's gone. So do I want to lose my daughter, or do I want to have my family? And that's pretty much, I think, that the calculation she made. I want to keep my daughter. I've already lost my granddaughter.
She claims that she said those things
hyperbolically.
On the phone because she was acting dramatically, and that
she wanted to get the cops there quicker.
She wanted to get the cops there faster. So that's why she said it. It's like, oh, this person has a gun, then the cops show up.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Go ahead, Denny.
Well, you got to give the defense. I mean, like, the terrible thing. Again, I'm not trying to say like, what happened with that little girl was absolutely awful.
Right.
I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm trying to say. But the defense was really, really good here, and the fact that like any defense lawyer needs to take needs to look at this how they defended it, because you have to in order to plant the reasonable or or to destroy the reasonable doubt in the trial, you have to be able to give the jury another story to believe. So when they came out in their opening statement and said, "Oh no, she didn't kill her, she drowned," and then her grandfather, Casey's dad, found the body and helped her cover it up.
So it was like so Casey's dad is in there to support his daughter, right? He's walking into court. He sits down, to watch the trial or whatever. And right in the opening statements, they say that, oh, well, she didn't kill her, she drowned, and her grandfather buried her. Grandfather's like, wait, what?
On top of that,
then they say that Grandpa is molesting her, like all through her. And Dad's
molested
like,
Casey.
Dad's like, what is going on here? And they're just making this shit up through this whole thing, because the Grandpa goes up there and is just bawling. He's like, I don't know. And then Grandpa tried to commit suicide because he was just so distraught by losing his kid. And they said, no, it's the guilt from him having to bury his kid. You're like, what? No. Go ahead, Colleen.
So the Anthonys were actually told that was going to be their defense. So they had a little bit of fair warning and were told to keep their composure in the courtroom. That's what Cindy said on the documentary. But still, who makes up blatant lies about that?
Dude, diabolical, man. Go ahead, Jake.
Well, I mean, accidents do happen. Like, why would they feel the need, if she did drown in the pool, to actually cover it up?
They said they were scared. They were scared of her mom freaking out. That her mom, she was so scared of her mom that they did that.
That just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Of course it doesn't.
Especially with the dad being an ex-cop.
Yeah, exactly. Tiefel, go ahead. Yeah, it was just throwing your dad under the bus like that was just disgusting.
I mean, throwing her dad under the bus aside, I mean, I've heard that defense several times before, where I didn't kill brothers. Yeah, I didn't kill them. I just found them dead and was afraid and took care of it.
Danny, go ahead.
I didn't follow this case, closely when it was happening, so that's why I found the documentary so compelling. But I'd heard about it, like you couldn't go anywhere without hearing about it. Right. But watching that documentary and hearing all these details, it was just like, oh man, like it's definitely, if you're interested in true crime, it's definitely an interesting watch.
Speaking of shady law stuff, did you guys hear about this Lucas County Common Pleas judge?
No.
Okay. He was accused of misusing his position to do family friends a favor by helping a man charged with distributing nude photos of a minor bond out of jail early. And now they found out that this judge did this. He's Judge Michael Goulding, 53, was questioned about his admitted actions for an hour and 20 minutes Monday during a disciplinary hearing. 3-member board panel is going to file some sort of decision by full board by June 11th, the earliest. The hearing stems from a complaint by the Ohio Office of Disciplinary Counsel claiming that the Judge Goulding in February of last year, 2019, violated 3 sections of judicial conduct promoting confidence in the judiciary, avoiding abuse of the prestige of judicial office, and ex parte contacts and communications. Chief among, Judge Goulding.
Those first 2 sound made up.
Right, I know. Let's see. Okay. Judge Goulding said he did not know the guy at the time, but identified him as the boyfriend of a close friend's daughter. The friend had called the judge for help with finding Mr. Gibbons and learning his charges, both of which are, he says, you had an opportunity to be a hero in the eyes of your friends. Was that a factor in the case? And then he said no. But anyway, so he's so shady, dude. I mean, allegedly shady. He says that he told the Blade that he would have handled the situation differently, but he said he took responsibility, self-reported the matter, and continued to cooperate with the process. So there you go. Go ahead, Colleen.
I have so many questions about this. So the friend it was like his friend's daughter's boyfriend, right?
Right.
Okay, so as a parent of daughters, I'm not calling in any personal favors for some douche that's sending pictures of minors.
Yeah, I know.
Like, hello, no.
Yeah, I don't care who it is.
Go ahead, Holly.
He said that he used the metrics for determining if he should be out of jail or not. And the metrics that they used to decide if he's a danger said that he shouldn't have been in jail. So that's why he let him go.
Oh, I'm sorry. If minors are involved, pictures, especially of that nature, you're a danger, brother.
Right, exactly.
Right. And it was like he didn't even read the charges. Like, oh, let me just get them out for you.
Did it disclose like the age of the minor?
Yes, it was. He was 17 and she was 14, and then again when he was 18 and she was 15.
So he didn't learn his lesson the first time.
Yeah,
makes sense. Let him out.
State of Ohio.
Well, I don't think he was charged the first time. I think that was like 2 incidences or 2 pictures.
So I mean,
like,
go ahead, Danny.
Well, so if he was 17 the first time that he got a picture from the
yeah, but if she's 14, if the person's under the age of 16,
yeah,
that's the legal age of consent anyway. And as far as like having any pictures or anything, I don't think they can be under 18 at all.
Yeah.
Even if my daughter she's 14, if she gets sent a picture, and has another minor's naked picture on her phone, she can actually be charged. And I could be charged because the phone is in my name with child pornography. Like even other minors having pictures of minors is illegal.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Colleen.
Legal age of consent in the state of Ohio is 16 within 5 years. My ex-husband was 5 years, 1 month, and 13 days older than me, and I was underage when we met. And my dad tried to press charges.
Tifo, go ahead.
I was just going to say, a few years back, we had a local comic get caught up in something like that. He disappeared for a few days. Then all of a sudden, somebody came up to Connections when it was still open on an open mic night with a Buckeye behind bars, and they had his picture up in there, and he was for.
How many times have you guys seen a Buckeye behind bars and you see, oh man, I know that dude.
Exactly. And he comes in and his picture is right there, and it was for possession of 2 counts of child pornography.
And freaking Buckeye behind bars, they know who the popular people are, so they know that they're gonna put them on the front so everybody sees it. Danny, go ahead. Go ahead, Tifo.
I was gonna say, and in my head, I was like, I'll give him the little benefit of the doubt. It could have possibly been somebody sent him a nude photo. He didn't know, and he just happened to get caught with it, you know. But then we were supposed to go to Cleveland that weekend to do a show, and he calls me up, which he was not allowed to do according to his being let out. What is it? His bail or whatever.
Yeah.
He wasn't allowed to use his cell phone, but he still calls me up to tell me he can't make it. I was like, yeah, we all figured that out. And then he goes, yeah, some guy I thought was my friend dined me out. And I was like, oh, benefit of the doubt goes away. That just goes away right there.
Denny, go ahead.
Oh yeah, at my job, those things go around all the time because there's usually somebody in there with the population that big. Somebody in there got caught doing something.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I thought this was kind of interesting. I was reading the Toledo City paper on the online version, and it was saying that it listed a bunch of like TV shows and movies that have Toledo connections. And then like you're supposed to figure out like which one you think is the best. But here's a couple. AP Bio, which was only around for a minute.
It's a dude from
It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
It was a comedy on NBC. Oh, it was 2 seasons it was around. Focused on a disgraced biology teacher who has to move back to his hometown of Toledo to teach a biology class at a fictional area high school. Though the series was canceled by NBC after 2 seasons, it was then picked up for a 3rd season by NBC's upcoming streaming service, Peacock. Here's another one called Feed. I don't remember this one. Feed from 2005. This one doesn't portray our fair city in the most positive light. This Australian thriller features a cop investigating a website that streams obese women being held captive and overfed. The investigation leads the cops to Toledo to find out.
Wasn't me.
Is that how you got here, Gina?
Wasn't me at all. You don't have to tie me up to get me to overeat. I do that willingly.
However, tying me up and making me overeat sounds kinky.
By the way, did you see
it's a whole subculture.
Did you see they're talking about there's some people saying get rid of buffets altogether? I posted
Oh, look,
today.
I'm so glad Sugar isn't here. You would have just given her a heart attack.
Right?
I
She would
know.
have killed herself.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
If there's anything that will make me show up with a rifle to protest, it is that.
Yep,
Maybe
I'm with you.
I'm wearing camouflage.
We'll all be protesting from our couch because we're too fat and lazy to go actually to
Gina?
Columbus.
Gina,
Yeah,
why'd
be
you put a
clutching
mask?
But we'll hold our sides from our couch.
Gina, what'd you put a mask on for?
My nose is cold.
Your mask looks like Shredder
Go ahead,
from the
Jake.
Ninja Turtles.
That's Princess.
Did we actually hear from Sugar today, or did she might have read the article and that's why she's not on the show? She offed herself.
I tagged her in the article, and she was devastated when she heard that. Now it's not for sure. Yeah, go ahead, Holly.
Even Mama Judy says, does Sugar know?
I know. I know. Well, can you imagine though if you're like a Golden Corral and that's like your whole business model is buffet.
Well, look at Las Vegas.
Or what if you?
Okay,
right.
well, Gina, you go ahead and you tell Mallory that because that's her one request every birthday, and
Yep.
she didn't get it this birthday. She has been waiting and counting down the days to where she could go to Golden Corral.
Oh, man.
And then what about,
Once you've had a good buffet, Golden Corral's trash.
Right. I
Everything
agree.
tastes the same.
but then you have
Can't wait
Not
for
if
the
you-
casino to open back up because
Oh,
their buffet on Fridays and Saturdays, the Southern buffet, is so freaking
the
good.
one that's gone now forever. No, I don't know.
and all the Vegas buffets, I mean.
Yeah, well, and the
Yeah.
Chinese buffets too. I mean,
Oh my God, you just killed me.
I know the Chinese buffets.
Hi, Phelan.
Oh, Phelan's
Phelan's
watching?
watching.
Hey, Phelan, love you. All right,
You got
here's
more of
another
these
one.
shows?
Kiss Toledo,
Yeah.
Kiss Toledo Goodbye from 1999. Michael Rappaport and Christopher Walken star in this independent comedy thriller set in Toledo but filmed in Los Angeles. The story revolves around a young businessman who is forced to impersonate a mafia don after the assassination of his father, a crime boss. I've never heard of that one.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, Kiss.
I like Michael Rappaport, too.
I know, and Christopher Walken. Hello.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Kiss Toledo Goodbye. Everyone knows about MASH from 1972, one of the most beloved television shows in history, and one of which was, has direct ties to Toledo thanks to Jamie
Because
Farr.
Tony Pacos won't let us forget it.
I know. They'll use Jamie Farr till the end. It was on 11 seasons. Of course, Jamie Farr would always talk about his love for his hometown, and then of course he made Tony Pacos famous. This one, I remember this one. I didn't watch much of it, but I do remember it. Melissa and Joey from 2010.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Go ahead, Tifa. What were you gonna say?
Okay, so here's my problem with that show.
What?
Right. First off, they didn't actually film here. They filmed in LA and they sent out a crew to shoot B-roll. for transition shots.
Yes.
Right. And then they just like peppered in little Toledo things every now and then. You'd see a Mud Hens pendant in the background or something. But and then they also mixed up the Ohio State University and called it the Toledo University in one episode. And then but the real thing that missed me off is she's supposed to be a city councilwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, city council people in Toledo, it's a part-time job. They've told me that several times, like it's a defense. But they get paid like $27,000 a year for that job. And yet she's going on shopping trips. She's going on a vacation. She's affording a Manny. She's
Manny.
All this stuff. I'm like, there is no way she's affording that on her because she didn't have any other job.
All right, real quick, before I go to Denny, the popular ABC Family, for those who don't know, the popular ABC Family series followed a Toledo politician played by Melissa Joan Hart, who takes in her niece and nephew and hires a failed businessman played by Joey Lawrence to take care of them. Series ran for 4 seasons before being canceled in 2015. Go ahead, Denny.
Literally every show does that, T-Full. The Office isn't in Scranton, Pennsylvania. They don't even film. They don't even film all of Shameless in Chicago. Like most of Shameless is filmed in L.A. and they do some.
I'm just adding on issues.
Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, Chris. Also, the Friends. Those apartments weren't that affordable in New York City.
Rent control. They said it several times. Rent control.
Go ahead, Colleen.
Who cares? Melissa Joan Hart pretended to be from Toledo. That's epic.
Yeah, that is cool.
You gotta love Clarissa.
Now, Andrew, are you going to mention all the times that Toledo's mentioned in Law and Order series as a place where the murderers and pedophiles come from?
No, I didn't know. I don't watch Law and Order. I don't have that.
They do that a lot in Chicago PD.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the next one. In Riverdale from 2017, in this dark re-imaging of the Archie universe, it said that pal Jughead's family lives in Toledo. And in the season 3 episode, chapter 4-3 Outbreak, Archie and Jughead visit the city where his mom runs an auto yard with his sister Jellybean is a member of an area gang called the Toledo Serpents.
I wish we had gangs named that cool.
I know, it'd be so cool. And then there's 2 more. One is called Supernatural from 2005.
That's a popular one.
That's a good one.
It's currently airing in its 15th and final season. The CW series frequently features references and callbacks to Toledo, as its creator, Eric Kripke, Kripke, grew up in Sylvania. The series has been directly referenced Kripke's Enterprises, Scrap Metal, and Entertainment, a tongue-in-cheek reference to the family business that still exists today. Interesting.
Is it Omnisource?
No, I don't know. And then finally, 2 Toledos in 2007, contrasting Spain and America. This documentary takes a look at the contrasting art and culture between both of the cities named Toledo, made by area filmmakers Jacob David and Joel R. Washing. Those are some of the shows that have the Toledo connection or whatever. Go ahead, Jake.
Wasn't at one time Toledo, Spain, our sister city?
Yeah, Toledo or something.
It's Toledo.
That. Yeah, Toledo.
Whatever.
You remember a show?
Potato.
Go ahead, Gina.
A show in the 90s. I think it was called like Just the 10 of Us or something.
Yep.
I remember that.
With all the
Just
basketball.
the 10 of us.
Yeah,
We
We
they're
can make it if we try.
they were from Toledo also.
Really?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Danny.
That was their storyline. They moved from Toledo to somewhere else.
Oh, go ahead, Danny.
We were actually also featured on a sign in The Walking Dead. There was like they got to a place and there was like all these little this way, and Toledo was in one of the signs.
Now, see, Chris, they actually came here to film that part of it because that we are The Walking Dead here in Toledo.
Dude, the first time I went down to Lima, they had just torn down, or they had just shut down, and it's weeds were growing around the American Mall. Mm-hmm. And I swear, I was like, did I just walk into a scene from The Walking Dead? Because this day was like, oh.
It certainly wasn't Glee.
Go ahead, Colleen.
Right?
Jeepers Creepers, the one road where the like little thing off the side of the road is, like water plant or whatever, where Jeepers Creepers lives. Mm-hmm. That was filmed in Curtis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was by Bridget's house, and I used to freak out when we'd have to drive by it.
Jake Dickey, go ahead.
Also, Kenny Rogers named Toledo in one of his songs.
Yes.
Was it Gambler, one of them?
No, Lucille.
A bar in Toledo.
Toledo, across from the depot.
Cross from the depot. I don't even know if that's...
And then when
So
one of the times that we were going to get nuked by North Korea, on the Daily Show, Trevor Noah said, hey, just send the bomb towards Toledo.
I remember that.
I do remember that.
Trump offered thoughts and prayers to Toledo for a mass shooting that happened in Dayton, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thoughts and prayers.
I mean, I'll take thoughts and prayers always.
Well,
But, you know.
Let's not forget the Bowling Green massacre.
Well, I think he was talking about Bowling Green, Kentucky when he did
Yeah, that was Kentucky,
Yeah.
Tifo.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought that was here.
No.
No.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Close enough. Close enough, wrong city.
The exact same amount of shootings happened.
I mean, really, Bowling Green just now is celebrating being number 3 on the Washington Times list of teachers. They're like, we're number 3. They got signs up and everything.
Really? Okay. By the way, speaking of Trump, by the way, Gina.
Oh God!
You open the door.
I'm going to take 60 seconds.
Gina?
Okay, we're going to max out at 60 seconds of
I'm
politics.
sorry.
Here's the 60
I'm sorry.
seconds.
I'm already on my way to your house.
60 seconds of politics. So Trump does a town hall yesterday, right? Get your mask off.
How many of those do you have?
She's changing.
Covering her ears.
How many? Are you making them?
She's auditioning for The Handmaid's Tale.
Dude, I'd be the worst handmaid ever. First of all, I'm big as heck. You're not going to hold me down. Like, who's going to... Your wife is tiny, sister. I don't really know what's happening.
Just real quick. So he did a town hall yesterday, and it was in front of the Lincoln Memorial. So at one point, Trump says, they say that the press, they treated Lincoln so horribly. He goes, they treat me worse than they treat Lincoln. They treat me worse than they treat Lincoln. You're like, Lincoln was assassinated. So, bro, as long as you were still here, they didn't treat you worse than Lincoln.
And no one's even tried. I mean, I'm not saying anyone should. It's
No, let's not do
Lord.
that.
Yeah, good Lord, that would.
Denny, I'm going to tell you, and I tell kids sometimes, no one can tell you what you can and can't think, but you can't say it.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I mean, I was saying, like, it would actually be worse. I feel like, I mean, because then he'd be a martyr, and no one wants that.
All right, real quick, Holly.
Do you want the Secret Service to visit each one of us, Denny?
No.
Because that's how you get the Secret Service visiting us.
Yes, go ahead.
No, I was clearly stating don't do this.
Hey, Gina.
Yes.
Is my Aunt Karen sending you masks too in bulk?
Actually, my friend, our friend, you guys know Beth. I think her last name is Yoder.
Mm-hmm.
She made some and sent them to me, and then there's another girl making masks too that I bought some when I realized that we were going to have to leave the house because I only had a couple just in case, and now I'm like, okay, we're actually going to have to leave the house at some point.
Yeah.
So I think I have now we have like 4 apiece, and I've sent Dub's family. Dub's my baby's dad, for people that don't know. Dub's family is in New York and PA. I'm pointing. You see that? Over there?
In that general vicinity.
I don't know what's going on. And so I've sent masks to them because, New York is so bad. He has a friend that works in a hospital in New York, too. I don't know if you guys want to hear any stories or not, but it's insane.
Yeah,
it's insanity.
I'm sure. Go ahead,
I have
Holly.
a question for you, Gina. So if you're sending them to like New York and Pennsylvania and stuff, Aunt Karen's sending ours from Arizona. And she tried to send one mask today, folded up very nicely in an envelope, probably thinner than, a couple page letter. And it was $4.05. Did anybody else notice postage going up?
I haven't sent anything.
Yeah, the weight, if you actually have to have it go in and be weighed, it's went up.
I don't know. When I went into to mail them, they were under $4 a piece, and I sent 4 masks in one, and then in another one I sent 10. So it was pretty bulky.
How long ago was that? Because this was just yesterday.
Last week.
Yeah, this was just yesterday for her. And when she sent the other one, I still had the envelope, and she sent 6 in that one, and I think it was only like $3.
Go ahead, Jake.
What happened to those boxes that they had if it fits, it ships?
They have those still, but they're more expensive than
Guess they're like
weight
flat
when
rate.
it comes to the
They're like
mask because
9
the masks
Okay.
are so they
Light.
weigh
Okay.
so little.
Yeah.
This is
All
my
right,
Ohio State one because go
portion-
Bucks.
This portion of the show brought to you by
Gross.
Glick Electrical Services. Our good friends over at Glick Electrical. Make sure you check them out. Also, this portion of the show brought to you in part by we have a couple new sponsors actually that I want to get to real quick, and one of them, hold on, is I don't want to mess it up. We have two new sponsors. Oh, one of them is Yard Signs of Toledo. And Toledo Lawn Greetings. And what they do is, especially with coronavirus now, and their business is exploding, if you want to have a birthday or something coming up, or expecting a baby, or someone's coming home from the hospital or anything like
Graduations.
that. Yeah. Happy you lived through COVID or something, whatever. They'll put lawn greetings.
Congrats on breathing! Woo!
Congratulations on not dying.
They'll put lawn greetings on your lawn, so when people pull up and they see it and they get a little kick out of it. Go ahead, Jake.
I just saw that the White House released COVID-19 coins, commemorative coins.
You talked
Just
about
to-
that last week.
Yeah, I know, but just I saw it again today.
was drunk.
No, I remember talking about it, but I just saw it today. But that reminded me of, like, if that's something you want to remember it by, remember to get your COVID coins.
Yes, exactly. And
No
also,
monetary value.
Also brought to you by Exotic Tunes and Customs, Detroit's #1 auto detailers, expanding in Toledo. So, and they give you a special deal on auto detailing. If you mention Andrew Z, it's Exotic Tunes and Customs. You can check them out on the Andrew Z in the Morning Facebook page if you need to get a hold of them. All right, let's talk some COVID stuff real quick. We kind of dipped our toe into it before the break. The worst is not behind us, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, people are really starting. As I told you, once May 1st hit, psychologically, it's going to be hard to keep people in the house, and that has absolutely been the case. Matter of fact, we're still losing right now. Not losing. We still have 25,000 brand new cases per day. By the end of this month, we're going to be having 200,000 new cases per day by the end of this month. Sunday, yesterday, the biggest death date to date right now was yesterday. It's going to continue, and now that we're not social distancing as much, where everyone's starting to open up, things are starting. Like I said, the weather's getting nice. People are going out. They're forgetting. They're not taking it as serious. We're not
Protesting.
Protesting. Whatever. Go ahead, Gina.
I make sure we're saying that going outside is okay, because I feel like we have to, because you do not have to stay in your house. We should be going outside. I've been outside, actually go to my mom and dad's house. We stay outside. We do their yard work. The girls and I get out of the house. We're out in the yard. They're sitting on their deck and we're visiting, obviously very far apart.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be getting outside. So don't stay in the house, because our mental health is really taking hit after hit after hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know mine is. And that's one of the things I have been doing is get out of the house. I'm telling you, it does your soul so good.
Well, and that's the thing too, is just the sunlight is just puts you in a better mood. I mean, just being out in the sunlight. Go ahead, Holly.
That's why I don't like the term lockdown. Like, we're not locked down.
Right.
Like, you can get out of your house. You can go places. You can do things. But do it safely and do it smart. Like, when you've got 30 people at a park having a party.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
do it necessarily, too.
Over the weekend, Holly sent us a video. A bunch of people from Toledo, 100 people or so, out in a parking lot, just hanging out, partying. At least 100.
On the news today, they said over 200 people. They even
do you know the parking lot that was in, Andrew?
Yes.
It's not even big enough for 200 people.
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. It's a huge parking
lot. Which parking lot? Wait, because I was told it was on like Monroe, Detroit, and I can't think of the parking
where
lot.
McDonald's and that same.
Oh, okay, right there.
Huge.
That's up the road from there. Okay.
And it was
across from Key Bank.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I thought they were talking about the parking lot with the carryout. With the liquor store.
No, that's down. Yeah, no, it's like catty corner from that.
So 200 people. Go ahead, Colleen.
They also said, like, on Ogden in South Toledo, there were 6 people arrested, and then there were somewhere else there were arrests as well.
Walbridge Park.
Yeah,
Walbridge Park.
7 people got arrested over the weekend. Well, hey, At least it was all I saw was African Americans there. I'm sure there was other people there, but it was a majority. But at least they don't get COVID, so we're all good.
No, I don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Well, I'm being facetious because it's actually higher. So
because,
I mean, to be so
because
stupid.
African Americans are disproportionately affected and dying.
Yeah. So that just makes it even more stupid. Well, why would what alcohol? What person do you have to see? What song do you have to listen to with a group of people that is worth your life? It just makes no sense to me.
They all brought their own alcohol. They all had their alcohol. They had the food truck. They had the music, the light shows.
I know, but I'm saying like what. Have it at home. Why is it so? I don't get it.
But then I can't have 200 of my friends.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No,
Nobody has 200 friends.
You can Zoom with
You
yourself.
don't have 200 friends.
That's crazy, man.
People,
I think
Check my Facebook.
I think the food truck thing was the thing that most impressed me. Like that guy was just like, all right, I'm going to get some business and just pulled up.
I don't pulled up to the park party.
It's a drive-by fooding.
Oh my
Did he
God.
get cited for being there?
I'm not sure.
If you got a food license, you can be anywhere. Why would?
Well,
as long as you have permission
for
from the.
social distancing.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, because they could all say that they came there because he was there.
But he's selling carry out. He's following the rules.
Yeah.
It's not his fault everyone else is
But
congregating.
it's his responsibility as a business owner to assure the safety of his patrons.
Yeah, and he can do everything he can inside of his truck to ensure the safety of everyone, but he can't control what they do on somebody else's property.
I don't know. When I walked into Chipotle, they were like, "Yeah, we got to make sure everyone's 6 feet apart." Like,
Yeah, 7 people
Yeah,
were arrested
within their store.
7 people were arrested over the weekend. I think 16 total for not social distancing. But just the stupidity of watching these videos is just unbelievable. BMV is opening later this month. They're saying so if you need to get some stuff over your car. Restaurants are saying are opening soon. They haven't given a date yet, but they're soon. Go ahead, Denny.
one of the things that's kind of upsetting me that I'm seeing more and more is it's not so much the protests, but it's how far the protests are going. You know, it's one thing to stand out in front of a Capitol and a state building, and I think you're an idiot and a very soft person if you're taking assault weapons to a state capitol. Yeah. But the thing that upsets me the most is people who have been harassing the Dr. Amy Atkins family and stuff. I mean, because she's just doing her job, trying to keep the public safe. And there's people harassing her and her family.
Yeah, people are crazy.
Well, they took those same weapons that they had at the state house to her neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and that's
her neighbors have to deal with it too.
Yeah,
what did they?
Yeah.
Can we call the weapons compensation sticks?
I saw Gina go like this, and I started cracking up.
Every time, like TDS is not Trump derangement syndrome; it's tiny syndrome, and they all have TDS, all of them.
Go ahead, Tiefel.
Hey, Gina, not everyone with a tiny penis feels it necessary to carry around a rifle and intimidate other people. I imagine.
No.
You know, here's the thing, though. I really, this governor has really done a good job. Even when he said, you know, at first he had a mask, he had a mask ordinance that everyone had to wear masks, and he said, you know what, I overstepped there. Well, he f's up. We're all doing this blind. I think people would give Trump a lot more of a pass if he would just say, dude, we haven't seen this in 100 years. We've never seen this before. I'm doing the best I can. I'm going to screw up. But man, the dude just can't admit fault and just paints himself into stupid corners.
That's why his people love him, though.
I know. Jake, go ahead.
Think about when this was going down with the Spanish flu 100 years ago and there wasn't social media. Right. Like nobody was like putting together protest groups.
No.
You can't imagine. And if they were, I mean, think
were
about how long it took to organize
It
that.
was a year later, the Spanish flu was over and they're showing up.
And they're pissed off and going like, ah.
Hear ye, I am here for the protest of the Spaniard flu. It's been over for 3 months. Oh, shoot.
I was saying, did you guys hear about the city in Oklahoma that put the requirement in to wear masks inside stores? and then he withdrew it like a day later because of all the harassment and fights that were being started by people with store employees.
Someone got shot today in Flint.
I saw
A security guard,
like a Family Dollar or something.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
security guard at the Family Dollar tried to tell someone to wear a mask.
You walk into
and someone shot him.
You walk into a Family Dollar, you are taking your life into your own hands, though. People
But those deals.
Go ahead, Jake.
Does anyone else feel like we're on the brink of another civil war?
Yes.
And the thing that might put it over is depending on the 20 or the 2020 election.
Wait,
I'm not bringing politics into it. I'm just saying that could be happening.
I know.
We have to keep perspective, you guys. We have to. Again, mental health. These protesters are extremely small in the scheme of things.
Right.
Yeah.
You look at Michigan.
There she goes with the penis jokes.
In a state of 10 million people, they had 200 protesters. I mean, you're right. We do have to keep it.
Well, I mean, I thought the numbers were a lot closer than they were until a week or two ago, Andrew, when you read how many 80-something% of the people agree with the measures that we're taking.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
well, but here's the other thing. Here's how another way to keep it in perspective. If you post something on Facebook, even if you get 10 comments, even those 10 people aren't going to agree. So there are going to be people that just aren't. They're going to be crazies out there, and it's going to be 10%, 20% of the population that are just crazy. It's just the way it is. Go ahead, Gina.
Don't talk about it like
I
that.
have to add. Speaking of perspective, I just want to throw this out here really, really quick. Let's murder hornets. Let's just throw that in the mix.
We were talking about that
because
before
people are freaking out and losing their minds. And I really, really need to say this because it's making me crazy. Because like I've said before, I'm a numbers person. Numbers, I get comfort from numbers.
Real quick. For those, because this just came out like today, so we talked about it before we started the show. To tell them if they don't know what's a murder hornet, what are you talking about? And then
so murder hornets have been discovered in the United States, and they're these like 2-inch long giant hornets, and they're calling them murder hornets. There's like a scientific name. They came over here from Asia, which that's where everything's coming from right now. So like, I'm just saying.
Asia, get your shit together, please.
I know,
yeah,
right?
So anyways, the reason they're called murder hornets is because they kill bees. Just for perspective, they live in Japan and China. That's where they're originally from. And they lose about 50 people a year to murder hornets. In the U.S., about 62 people a year are killed by bees. So it's really only if you're allergic to bees. There's a really small number. They're not murder hornets flying across the ocean to come over here
in a big swarm
swarms and kill us.
Yeah, they're not just jumping people on the streets, like waiting for people to come around the corner, like get him.
But here's the problem:
gangster hornets. That's not what's going on at all, you guys.
Give me all your honey.
All I gotta say about this whole situation is we had Australia on fire. We had almost war with Iran. We had a scare with Betty White. We have COVID.
Kobe.
And now we've got murder hornets.
You will not leave Kobe Bryant off this list.
And we got Kobe. We'll go with Kobe. But can the rapture just happen already? Because I'm sick of all the preamble.
It already did. We're what's left, people.
Oh dear God, that's
all
scary.
All the good people are gone. All the bad ones are still here.
We're still here.
I refuse to believe that, Beyonce.
God, you made a mistake.
Here's the thing about it. It's not an accident that they call them murder hornets. People know what is going to go viral. They know what is going to make people. So that's.
But that was a name for them before they were found here, though.
That's part of it too. But whoever named it for the first time, they didn't just think murder hornets was a proper description. They did it because they knew that it was going to be like, oh man, people are going to take if a murder hornet is coming, you're going to be like, what the F is that? Denny, go ahead.
Well, I mean, the reason they're called the murder hornets is because of what they do to the honeybees.
Kill the bees. I know.
Yeah. They're not called murder hornets because they're hurting people. They're called murder hornets because they literally go into swarms of honeybees and just kill all of them, which I think is the bigger thing that people should be worried about.
You could have called them a bee's worst nightmare, though. You didn't have to call them murder. I mean, they did that on purpose.
Denny, what about the 50 people a year?
Yeah. Come on, show some sympathy.
They pick their victims specifically.
All lives matter.
Go ahead, Jake.
Does anyone else remember when I was a kid, there were killer bees and everyone flipped out about that shit too?
Yes, I do. Go ahead, Gina.
Yeah, I do see the same I mean, it's not always exactly the same, but it's kind of the same people that are like, oh, this COVID's no big deal. I don't know why we're wearing masks. Masks are stupid. They don't work, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, murder hornets. And I'm like, oh Christ, I can't deal with these people.
Holly, go ahead.
Mama Judy says we should just build a freaking fence around Asia.
Right?
That's going to keep the hornets out.
They'll fly over. They do fly, Mama Judy. Come on.
A giant mosquito net over top of Asia.
They tried to build a wall and it didn't work.
We have to remember.
It kept those Mongolians out for a while.
Until it didn't.
I think they did try that once. I think it's the Great Wall of China.
Yes, we have to remember that if you know someone that's Asian, please don't take it out on them. If you know someone in your neighborhood that's Asian,
unless they're trying to sting you.
Unless they're trying to sting you,
if they're training murder hornets in their backyard, you have every right to punch them.
Okay, fine, fine. All right, more COVID-19 stuff. Headlines: Kroger says there's plenty of protein. Settle down, everybody. There's plenty of protein in the food chain. I know that the stores are.
I'm not in the food chain. I'm in the store. Where's my protein?
Exactly. There are some grocery stores out, but it's coming. It's not like it's not out. It's taking longer to distribute because of fewer people and whatever. So settle down. It's okay. Go ahead, Denny.
Yeah, I mean, I think that some of the things that was put out by the Tyson CEO and all that, I think he's one of those guys. Yep, I think he's one of those guys that's saying we need to reopen the economy right now because he's looking out for his own public interests. So
go ahead, Holly.
Wasn't it Trump that said no? These factories have to stay open.
They do, and they do have to stay open. But
no, it was the ones that closed because they had such a severe outbreak. He's telling them, no, you have to open back up because you're going to disturb the supply chain.
Here's the other thing is that now they're saying that if you are a worker and your place opens back up and you don't go back to work, you ain't getting unemployment because the businesses are going to tell the state that you decided that you didn't want to come back. And that's gonna. I mean, that's there you go.
This is my problem with this.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even have your system capable of processing people's claims, but you're gonna start a new process for people. Why don't you manage what you've got before you start adding others?
I don't see these employers holding on for 8 days like we had to for unemployment. Go ahead, Colleen.
All I'm gonna say is I don't agree with that, and the reason that I don't agree with that is we've closed schools. We've closed daycares. There's people that can't return to work because they don't have anybody to watch their kids.
Yeah. Oh, you can't find, that was the thing today. Oh, you can't find a high school or college student to watch your kids while you go to work?
No, they aren't. If they're following the quarantine, no, you can't. Go ahead, Tifel.
Right.
I was going to say, there's actually been employers that have been trying that trick since the beginning of this whole thing, where they've laid people off and then they've called them back to work. But then they put it down as full time. But then they've only worked them like 20 hours on there, which is basically, according to unemployment rules, they could have turned down had they been told, "Hey, come back to work for 20 hours," because that's not. It's not the same. It's not equivalent
to what you were doing before.
To what they were doing before. So they could have turned that down just fine. But the employer tricks them and then only works them 20 hours, and then the person's stuck in this weird limbo.
Yeah.
Of it, and they've been doing that since the beginning.
Go ahead, Gina.
I forgot.
Denny?
Yeah, I know a couple weeks ago they were calling people from my job to come back and do work voluntarily.
Mm-hmm.
But that we were told that if we turned it down and didn't want to go back, that it wouldn't affect our unemployment.
Oh, really?
All, so.
Who would volunteer if you're getting money sitting at home and not
and
protecting your family? Who's going to go back?
There are people that cannot wait to go back to work. I have somebody who messages me almost every week, like, "Hey, you have any idea when we're going back yet?" I'm like, "Bro, you're making just as much, if not more, money sitting at home right now." But I think he hates his family.
Okay, more.
I asked one of my friends, and he was like, "Yeah, his girlfriend sucks." Like that's
more. He'd rather risk going
or doesn't suck. I don't know which is the problem.
He'd rather risk getting the COVID than sitting at home with his girlfriend. Yeah. That's a better option.
I just imagine that he's
break up with her.
Yeah, you need.
I just imagine he's like Al Bundy. I mean,
you need to reevaluate your relationship if getting a deadly disease is better option than sitting at home with your girl.
I mean, even Andrew and I locked ourselves in this house together.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, no one's feeling it worse than you, Colleen. We know.
Remember we talked about the Field of Dreams drive-in? They're set to open this week. So if you want
Sundance.
something to do with your family, all the drive-ins are going to be opening up this week. Sundance over in Oregon, Field of Dreams in Liberty Center.
Sundance is next Tuesday, I believe.
I think the
12th.
The 12th.
Yeah, next Tuesday. Yeah.
So that's a good news. If you want something to do with your kids, you can go to the drive-in. And this is
They gotta get some better movies though. The movies at Sundance were just like, man.
And here's the other problem with drive-ins in general is the movies. The two movies don't generally match up in themes. So like they'll have one kids movie and then it'll be like a Battlestar Galactica movie. You're like, wait, dude, my kids don't want to watch. They have to do a better job of pairing them up.
Yeah, come watch Sonic the Hedgehog.
Just got so hurt right then.
Yeah, come watch Sonic the Hedgehog and The Conjuring.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it. Tivo, go ahead.
When I was like I want to say 9. My stepfather and I went to a double feature at a theater in a mall, and the first movie was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the worst one.
And it was filled. It was packed. Not an empty seat in the house. Then that it was a double feature, and the next movie was Groundhog Day. My stepfather and I were the only ones left in the theater.
Dane, of course you did. This says so much about you. Denny, go ahead.
I used to hate
Groundhog
it.
Day is a great movie.
I used to hate it when I was a kid, and we would watch like the first movie over there, and then the second movie would be the better one on the other side.
Exactly.
So we would just turn around and set the station and watch it. But the movie that we were watching would end before the movie that or the movie that we were supposed to be watching would end from the movie before the movie that we were actually watching. So like everyone's leaving and we're like the one car is still sitting there and they're like, you guys got to go. You can't do this. You can't just sit here and watch the rest of this.
Go ahead, Holly.
You have to have a full-size truck bed. Why? Because a full-size mattress fits in the back of the truck bed.
Nice. Go ahead,
Holly,
so you just
don't play into stereotypes.
You have a minivan, you pull the back seat down into the floor, then you lay the other two seats down so that the kids can sit there and they lean against the front seats, and then you have the other kids laying down in the front.
See, I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Sure, that's how you came up with that plan.
Okay, real quick. Out of the stimulus checks, or out of the stimulus money, 43,000 millionaires got stimulus checks.
43,000
millionaires.
I mean, I got mine.
What's that?
Did you get
Southside millionaire Gina?
Yes, go ahead, Jake.
Did I read the same article I think you're referring to where their stimulus though was 1.6 million?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Yeah, I did read that exactly.
Like for them.
Well, see, I think that was more. I think that was business related.
Okay, so they still just got $1,200. Like,
but how? I thought they were supposed to be cut out.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, this is the last one I have. J. Crew has filed for bankruptcy. It is going to be. There are going to be other businesses that file for bankruptcy through this thing, but J. Crew is the first one.
Who'd imagine nobody would want pretension during a pandemic?
Does anyone shop at J. Crew anymore anyway? I mean, do your kids...
Every Jeff, Chad, and Brock.
Don't forget about the Kyles.
And Kyles. Like, all of them just died a little when J. Crew closed.
Jeff, Chad, Brock, and Kyle.
I would like to object to
Where
that.
does Blake shop?
Blake as well. Blake's another one that shops at J. Crew.
I know a couple
my
of Jeffs.
My nephew's name is Blake.
I know a couple of Jeffs, and Gina, you know one too, and you know dang well he ain't shopping there.
Yeah, Colleen, those aren't real things. That's just a fun thing we do. Like, not every Karen is an asshole that wants to speak to a manager, and
Really? I thought they were.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you, what was the hot clothing styles when you guys were growing up? For me, it was we wear the Izod shirts.
Route 66.
Shut up. We wear the two
Kmart.
We wore the two Izod shirts, and it was
Sears
saddle shoes,
and it
poodle skirts.
Oh my God, Gina, you're gonna appreciate this. So he was talking about that Hollywood thing.
The Hollywood TV show.
Yeah, the TV show. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, back when Hollywood was amazing. I said, oh, I'm sure you remember that. How old were you? 6, 7, 8?
Back when Hollywood was first established.
Well, I told
I
Colleen.
still remember when the signs went up. It was a cool day in my childhood.
Shut up. So we used to wear the Izod shirts with 2 of them, like 2 different colors. So you like wear a pink and a white one, or a blue and a green one, and then you flip the collars up. So the collar would be you guys don't remember that?
Nope.
Andrew,
popped
we
up
were
the collar.
babies.
Are you serious?
I think I have a picture of Brittany in that style, and it wasn't in your generation. It was like
born.
probably within the past 10 years.
Go ahead, Colleen.
I wasn't born yet, so no, I don't remember.
Go ahead, Danny.
But I felt like fashion changed so much when I was younger. I mean, because I was the type of guy that I had all kinds of different types of friends, so I had a very mixed bag of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So I wore everything from Abercrombie and Fitch to FUBU to Sean John and Rockaware. It was just a really
And Route 66 from Kmart when you were growing up as well.
yeah, Route 66. Yeah.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Colleen.
So mine was, you guys know what a Visco girl is, right? Essentially, that's what my style was a Visco girl.
It's a Valley girl, you guys.
It sounds
okay.
like I feel like I've hung out with a lot of Visco girls.
Yeah, go ahead, Tina.
Well, for me, it was the stirrup pants and oversized sweatshirts.
Stirrup pants. That's right. I remember those.
What are those?
And the pants, they're like leggings, but they have the little things that go around your foot, so that way they don't ride up.
Yeah.
I wore those until I wore the thighs out, and my parents couldn't find anymore. And then I cried because I had to wear jeans.
Go ahead, Gina.
So I was a 90s girl. I'm still a 90s girl. Like I'm one of those people. Like I want it to be the 90s. Like I'm sitting here like, ooh, bring back the 90s. So we did. Do you guys remember Cross Colors?
Yeah.
The colored jeans and the striped polo shirts, and IOU was really big. The bibs with the one unbuckled thing.
Yes.
I feel like you got your entire fashion sense from Blossom.
No, not even close. Think TLC.
Okay.
Early TLC. That was me. No joke. That's exact. I dressed. I even put Band-Aids on my clothes.
Did you wear condoms too?
Yes, I did it all. Like I was straight. Like, and I went to Genoa.
Like, me too, baby. Me too.
You know anything about Genoa? It's 3,000 people. There's a couple of brown people. And
our high school was surrounded by cornfields.
Yeah, literally 4 cornfields, and then our high school right in the middle of them. Like you can't skip school. It was like running away from jail. You couldn't walk away. You had to get a ride because they'd see you walking across
the cornfields. Go ahead, Jake.
I was going to say one of the things I remember being was Stonewash jeans.
Yes.
Remember those? And then
acid washed and yeah.
And then you went through the ripped jeans for a while. But I remember 6th grade, really the MC Hammer pants, skids.
Yes.
Skids were super popular.
Yeah.
I had some of those too. Yep.
I begged my mom for I had to get those. I had because everybody had them, and I got them in the middle of winter, and they were like pajama pants basically. So you're out on the playground just freezing your ass off.
Do you remember skids? They were like almost MC Hammer pants.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They were like
no, MC Hammer pants were different. They were like poofy.
Well, it was the same time MC Hammer was around.
Yeah.
But the skids, they actually had the slippery when wet logo on them.
Oh,
yep.
Colleen, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I actually knew Gina in the 90s, late 90s, but she's not exaggerating one bit.
No, not at all.
No, you guys. And when I met Colleen, I was like Tommy from head to toe. Like, I was so together before, and then I had kids and everything went to shit because I can't. They take all my money and time.
You just gave up.
Did you do the French cuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that too. But I used to have my nails done. Look at my nails now. Yeah. Like I have mom nails because I can't. I used to have my nails done, hair done, everything.
We used to call it pegging our jeans. Go ahead, Tifel.
Pegging what?
Pegging our jeans, like when you to roll them up. Shut up.
I always knew you were into pegging.
But see, Andrew's wasn't a fashion statement. His is because he's short.
Go ahead, Tifel.
Stussy.
What's
You guys remember? You guys remember Stussy?
Nope.
No.
All right, Nautica.
I mean,
Yeah.
I remember
Nautica.
Starter jackets.
Starter jackets. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. On their FUBU, of course. You guys mentioned
Yes.
that
Yeah.
already.
Fila, when Fila first came out.
Fila, yep.
LA Gear.
Oh, I remember
Lugs.
LA Gear.
BK. Oh my gosh, you remember
BK
British Knights?
Dimacells.
BKs.
And I don't know if
Yes.
this. I don't know if this was a big thing out here. Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because we were wearing that shit all the time out in California.
Go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna say, kind of off the starter jackets. I feel like everyone always had to wear some kind of sports jersey and or sweater all the time, and it didn't even matter if it was your favorite team because you wanted to have as many teams as you possibly could that were cool.
Yep.
Oh, throwback jerseys.
Go ahead, Holly.
Yeah.
Throwback jerseys were big my senior year in high school.
Do y'all remember County Seat?
Yeah.
County seat. All right.
Colored contacts.
Good times, good times.
That was fun times. Look
Oh.
at I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun, you guys. Had a good Monday show. Thank you so much for producer Holly, Denny Crum, Jake Dickey.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes, Chris Tiefel, Colleen Z, Southside Gina. I'm Andrew Z. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Today's portion of the show brought to you by Memorable Lights. Good friends over at Memorable Lights. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Don't forget, Colleen's Lip Sense girls as well. Yes, get your lip sense. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye, everybody.
Hey, Gina, keep that expression right there. That's not resting bitch face.
It feels so unnatural.